Hi everyone, I am back. I got the coffin on the last live stream. It was like, let me do a little simulation on how not to snort your snuff and how not to inhale the cigar. And it went from a simulation to joking around, like, haha, wink wink. And then it went from trying to hydrate myself before going out there in the sun and then heading to the swamp to talk about my experience and how I lived through Lizardman 30 years ago. It's like the 30th anniversary weekend. And then today is the first anniversary weekend right here for Cigars Take Sister Live YouTube. And then things start getting real strange. The live stream started getting real strange, like coughing, and I'm like, what could be setting me off? I was like, there was no incense going because I'm an incense chica. There was, it's a clean home, it's a clean environment where everything is real chilled. And I was like, okay, well, it can't be the La Croix, can't be the snuff. I have not yet begun to cut light and smoke this. And I was like, again, picking up where I left off from the other video, I was like, okay, when you are like a spiritual chica, and like this phenomenon, you've seen it everywhere, where you got people like James Corbin and other people reporting about the infamous and famous Lizard Man of Lee County, South Carolina. Not to be confused with any other Lee County, because there's a lot of other Lee counties out there. My mother's side is from South Carolina, the maternal, and then my father's side, they're in Florida, Tampa, Florida, and other parts of Florida. So it's like, I had the best of both worlds. So this summer of 1988 in South Carolina, uh, that was the year of the Lizard Man. And then I just happened to, be a teenager. Chris Davis, no relation, I don't think. He was a friend. He was a classmate. We all graduated in 1989. This is not someone I read about. This is someone I went to school with. The families are close. We'll get into a lot of that stuff for going down to the swamp, because we are going to go, coughing or not. I just don't think I'm going to simulate right now. But, I'm going to do the after visit and then talk a little bit during the visit. So I just thought it would be cool. This was really not even planned, but I'm home visiting everybody in South Carolina here for the 4th of July. And that escaped me about, like, oh my gosh, it's been 30 years since the Lizard Man. And when I went off to college and everything, and you talk to people and people be wanting to know your origins and stuff like that. I mean, every single time, because that happened in 88, went off to college fall of 89, so it was fresh to death. You couldn't escape it. But people are going to believe what they want to believe, first and foremost. And I'm not here to make anybody believe anything, because there are already enough stuff out there. And it's good to have the skeptics. It's good to have everything. People ask me, what do I think? I definitely feel in all these years that Chris saw what he saw. A lot of things were sensationalized by other people who wanted to get more of the spotlight. But with all of us being friends, and not to give too much away in this particular video, but with all of us being friends and just, when teenagers get alone and out of the glare of the media and stuff like that, you tend to be on a different level of talking with each other that nobody else can get to. And when he ran down those accounts with just all of us as teenagers, no adults, no parents around, nothing. We believed them. You know, when you live in certain areas, especially out of the city limits, you get to see a lot of different stuff that a lot of people don't get to see in a more metropolitan type of way. You get to hear different sounds and stuff like that. And I could tell you this, you know, it disheartens me when you hear people who didn't even know Chris. And it's just so typical how people just judge teenagers. And I've always tried, and I'm live streaming. I've always, you know, I'm live streaming this. All of this is live. I've always, even here at 47, I've never tried to just judge the kids because they're kids. And, you know, as a respectable journalist now, and been a journalist for over 2 decades, and I've covered presidents and stuff like that. I'm not gonna run down my joint, but I still keep those eyes open not to judge the youth, because youths have been judged so harshly and stuff. And I just think it's so disheartening that these people who are new on the scene and they talk about this stuff years later, they talk about drugs and meth. I mean, that was not even heard of back then. And even if it was just not that kind of party with us. You know, sure, as teenagers, you might have had a little drink here or there or whatever, but it was no hard drugs going on. It just wasn't that kind of scene. It wasn't that kind of party. You know, I'm not trying to sit up here and say perfect patties, but that family is a very upstanding family. And yeah, you could have people who come from upstanding families and they trip out, but it was not the case, and that was not the case. You know, and I'll get into some more stuff, but I will say on this particular live stream, when you are a teenager, you are not trying to look uncool to be talking about this, and especially a teenager of color. No, not then. You talking about you trying to work like we worked and then get ready to go party. We're coming out of high school, about to go to college. You all about the girls all about you. Chris was not bad looking at all. I mean, not at all. So you ain't trying to be uncool like that. And you ain't trying to be weird like that. So there was no doubt in our inner circle of the town of Lee County and South Carolina and classmates, nobody didn't second guess that. He saw what he saw, and there's that. So we're gonna head to Skateboard Swamp, run it down, keep it kosher, and just let that be that. I will cut and light this cigar again for those who might be coming in on this live stream and didn't view the others. Shame on you. This is the Arturo Fuente Florfina 858, and it's just brilliant, you know, just to go into the swamp woods and then have this. And still within the nose from the last video with the coughing fits, I have the gold snuff bullet, and inside this is the nasal snuff stoke in the bouquet called Charlotte. It's very herbally, grassy, which pairs well with the candela, which is green. Usually when you smoke this type of cigar, it has the nice woodsy notes and herbally notes, and it just pairs well even if you pair it with like a salad or fresh greens that are steamed, things like that. And I'm still eating here, so when I'm loading these live streams, you know, this is probably late files. I don't know. Oh. Got a little harsh radish mustard on this, and the eggs are on an English muffin that was soft scrambled with fresh mint leaves and fresh thyme. So yeah, it's always so good to go back down memory lane. I remember when we left high school, everybody went their way. And I'm sure it was more than just me to get confronted about the Lizardman and stuff like that. It was just so embarrassing at the time. So, you know, that's why I still go back to it. Like, nobody would ever try to make that up as teenagers and as teenagers of color, you know, like brown kids. Like, we would never do that. Like, cool points. So to do that, you know, it's just like, oh my God, that happened. You know, a lot of people, they want this intricate thing of proof, like, where's the pictures, where the cell phones? I mean, come on, 1988, it wasn't even like that. And I have no idea why my phone is ringing. This is so out of the norm because I try to cut things off. So I don't know, is this like another omen that maybe we shouldn't be going? Go get that phone and hang it up, please, for me, because I thought it was off the hook. But anyway, I love these live streams because, you know, this is the real deal. I try not to overproduce anything. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep a real vibe. And then also to those in the TAHDAH squad, who I call my TAHDAH squad, the subscribers, I get really nice comments that are left. And, you know, they was like, I like your relaxed approach. I love how laid back you are when you're talking about cigars and stuff like that. And I can really appreciate that because I'm going to tell you why. I love the sisters and brothers of the leaf. I love how everyone has their points of view and they do them different ways. And I feel like if you're trying to mirror someone else's point of view, I mean, first of all, that's not cool and it's not creative, and you just want to give different points of view. For me, I just like having that casual conversation. I've been an aficionado and smoking cigars since 19. I'm 47. I think I look pretty good for 47. Got another comment like that too. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're 47. I'm like, hey, I take care of myself. I mind my business, drink my water. And, you know, I just be joking around. And, you know, I got the Peter Pan syndrome and everything. And of course, you know, I'm a living unicorn. So, I mean, you know, there it is. But anyway, truthfully, you know, I love giving my points of view my way for this channel for smoking cigars. I like the relaxed approach. I don't want to feel like I'm teaching and preaching to anyone, but you know, I can get down in giving different points of view. And those who dig it, they dig it. And those who don't, well, they don't. You know what I mean? And I'm loving my top hat here. I hope you all are liking it too. I'm going to be rocking this like all week and having these celebratory sticks and everything. And now that I look back on it, because I am that chica that likes to laugh and everything, when I was coughing it out on the last live stream, I was like, what is going on? What's happening? All right. So now it's a beautiful day. It's Sunday. There's a lot going on. I'm going to finish this up because guess what? I don't know if this plays in good with what I'm about to do, going into the swamp area for the Lizardman. Remember when? And going back down memory lane, but there's thunder happening in the distance. And that beautiful sunny, beautiful skies is kind of clouding over, but we're still going. So I probably need to head out of here real quick and everything. But again, eating up good before I take on this stick and then going back down memory lane. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's a lot of things that are unexplained. A lot of things that are meant for people to see, and that they could be the voice and share that information for others. There are some people who may not even can take that kind of experience and bounce back well from it. You know, by seeing the Lizardman or seeing aliens or seeing this or seeing that. You know, I think what's meant to be is meant to be for certain people. Certain people are the messenger, and certain people are the receiver, and it's up to you which one to deal with. Um, Me, I come from a very spiritual family. I know that Chris comes from a very spiritual family, and a lot of people who may not have come from spiritual families, they are open to things that cannot be fully explained. I think that people who need things to be explained and proven all the time are people who are very closed. I think people who can kind of go with the flow, whether you believe it or not, but you're going with the flow, those are the open minded people. Those are the free spirits. But you need everyone to cohesively come together and make this world rotate and make the universe roll around. So it's always something for everyone. But I've always been taught from the nanas on both sides of the family. We're just talking about South Carolina. My great grandmother was in my life for 29 years of my life, and she passed away from this earth at 109. If you follow my platforms, I'm always talking about Nana. You know, she's a beautiful woman of color, Native American, and she was definitely a spiritual type chica. And she would always say, the half has never been told. And that has stayed with me all these years. Nana passed in 2000. She transitioned from this world to the next. And if you look at my first official YouTube channel, when I gave her love a few months ago and I said happy birthday and everything like that, there was like a light that zipped past me. And I think that's when I'm eating the pate mukbang and I say happy birthday, Nana, and then that light just kind of goes past. So, all right, I got somebody coming on here. Yeah, I love good music. I love good music. You know, my talk radio show is coming back, and you know, I always, you know, interview people who are mainstream, people who are not mainstream, people who are unsigned, and I just love music. I'm also a musician too, so you know, I've been into music as a musician. At the age of 6, I started reading music, and I took up the flute and professionally doing that at the age of 7. So, you know, I've been doing the most. And, you know, it's just so good just to, you know, have people appreciate what you do. But just getting back to this whole thing about Ripley's Believe It or Not and that kind of thing, you know, I feel like when you open yourself up to some unexplained stuff, that's when you are at your most creative. That's when you get just a lot of more good stuff that's coming at you that can help you flow through the world more than not. I feel like when you're real closed, you know, you just can't open yourself up to the things that matter. All right, so the sky is darkening a little bit, but it's still some sunlight out there. And the thunder has kind of went away a little bit. Everybody all over, especially on the East Coast, have been having these summer storms. But nothing is stopping me from going out there to the swamp, and we're going to be talking about the Lizardman. And I'm so glad that coffin ceased, because that was pretty crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and have this cut light and toast it. And then just keep checking back, because it's going to be, okay, there's the thunder again and everything. But, you know, I'm not one of those scary chicks like that. Like, I know this area. Like, so it's not like I'm going into territory like, oh my God, I'm so scared or whatever. Like I said, with the news reports back in the day, and even people reporting now, it's a lot of misinformation out there. You know, like, you know, when Chris was changing that tire after getting off from work, he was not scared, because Chris is from out there in that rural part of Lee County, South Carolina. So, like, my grandparents, everybody was in the city limits. So even I wasn't used to like the countryside like that, even though I would go visit friends and stuff like that. But like they were used to that. So for that tire to have blowout right there by the swamp in the dark and his car light shining, trying to change that tire to get home, he was not shook, because he was used to that kind of environment. What shook Chris was when he encountered the Lizardman. Okay? So, you know, when people talk about that and stuff. But anyway, we'll get more into that. But I thought this was a pretty good segue to bring that in. And I know some of my friends are going to be like, what in the world, BB? Bringing that back up, girl. And, you know, just like, well, hey, it's going to coincide since I'm here, 30th anniversary, and, you know, just going to pair it up and everything like that. Now, for those who still don't know, Chris passed in 2009, and so definitely this is going to be always like a rest in peace to Chris and for all of us, the class of 1989. I couldn't read what that said. It kind of went so quick. This chat, let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, the name of this artist. This is, the title of the song is called Nocturne. Okay, like nocturnal. And the artist is Namen, Nomyn, and I'll put it in the description box. Okay? So that's it. It's a really cool tune. It's really good, especially if you want to like chill out and everything like that. So, you know, I love it. So that's it. Nocturne. And I put it in. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, all right. So anyway, I'm going to finish up this food and I'm going to still suck on this cough drop because I don't know what happened on the last video. Just, okay. And I might have to sage myself. Yeah, I try to have a good vibe. So I might have to sage myself before I got there. But anyway, that thunder is coming. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting on my gear. And then we'll be headed to Lizardman County. All right. Peace and love. And more to come. I'm Bebe Cigar St. Sister. I'm going to cut light and smoke this cigar and have that on the road with me in the SUV. And we're going to go on out there and, I don't know, let's see if we can find Lizardman. All right. Peace and love. More to come. Stay close.